Divine greetings, divine beings. I hope you guys are doing amazing. This morning, I know I am. So, welcome again to another fun-filled, whimsical series called The Law of Assumption (Healing, Ancestry and Alignment). So, in the last video of this series, I talked about the effects of apartheid and colonialism on our spirituality, our ancestors' spirituality, on our chakras, our livelihoods, and just existing as a human on earth. And now the question I asked myself for this third session was, where to from now on? What do people need to know? And the first four things that popped up in my mind are energy work, ancestral healing, connecting with your ancestors, and shadow work. And then when I was writing these concepts, what I thought about was mental blocks, emotional blocks, physical blocks, and spiritual blocks, because there is an interconnection between the mind, body, and soul. If the mind is imbalanced, the body will also be imbalanced, the soul will also be imbalanced, and vice versa is true. So what we can actually do now is focus on the work. And I don't want anyone to panic and feel like time is running out. Time is not running out. You are exactly where you are meant to be. Right now, you are listening to this series. There's a reason why you felt drawn to this series. There's a reason why you are tapped in for the third time. And I also told myself that with each aspect, with each limiting belief, you can actually tap into your desired reality. But you may ask yourself, why are these things important? So these things are important because they link to what I was talking about in the previous session. So I do not think that it is going to be feasible for us to just go straight to the law of assumption and understanding it, because now we are in survival mode. Everyone is tense, everyone is pushing, and that's fair, that's fine. Everyone is pushing to get a job, everyone is pushing to go back to school, to get a bursary, to register. We are all manifesting from a place of trauma, pain, wounds, and fear and anxiety. Anxiety of, what am I gonna do tomorrow? What if I don't work in the next 5 years? What if the food that I have does not last me for a month? I just need to get by through the month. So my job here is to help us breathe and let go all of the anxiety and fear. And I feel like when you do self-introspection, when you reflect and get to the bottom of things, it's gonna be easy to breathe, and it's gonna be easy to do the work, because you understand why you are this way, you are feeling this way. I won't be going deep into the concepts though, but ancestral healing, even it's self-explanatory. Sorry, I have a lisp, so I struggle with pronouncing certain words. Ne? It's self-endorsed. Let's keep it at that. So ancestral healing it's self-endorsed. It basically means working on the wounds that were left by your ancestors. So as African people, thina singabantu abantsundu, we believe that it's only the vessel that dies. It's only the vessel that remains on earth. Now, your soul, your spirit is the one that ascends. So whoever dies, we know that physically they are not here with us, but spiritually they exist with us in the spiritual realm. That is why before Kudala Embo Emandulo, our ancestors believed that death is not the end. Yes, death is not the end. So because of this, it is very possible that the people that you work with are still in pain. And besides the people that we work with, we have wombs, né? And even men have wombs. It's not something that is only found in women. Men do have wombs, né? But that's not the topic of the day. So, isibeleko ke ngoku. I did say in my previous video that isibeleko siyakhongozela, né? It's a storage unit. So it stores the pain, it stores the trauma, it stores the wound. That's why sometimes, né, you are scared of things. You don't know why you're scared of it. It could be because of two reasons: your past life or the people that you work with. I know I'm not scared of water. Growing up, I was not scared of the ocean, but the more I connected with my ancestors and everything, I started being scared of the ocean. I started being scared of water bodies, but I grew up frequenting the ocean. Okay, then sure, fine. So I learned over the years, but no, actually, yes, there are people that work with me that are scared of water, because my great grandmother was a twin, and her twin drowned in the ocean. And I was like, yep, it's definitely her. It's definitely her energy. So what our ancestors experienced, we still feel the pain in our wombs. We still feel ukusindeka, on our shoulders, the heaviness on our shoulders. This is why it's important to tap into ancestral healing. And the patterns of the ancestral healing, you can actually see it in your family. You can actually see it play out in your life. There are certain wounds, certain dysfunctional patterns that I see at home, and I was like, this one was passed down from ancestor to ancestor, from descendant to descendant. So even outside of manifestation, if you want to make your life easy, you need to address the wounds. Yes, you need to tap into ancestral healing. And then when we get to energy work, which will be specifically for chakra healing, energy work is important when it comes to chakra healing, because I did talk about the root chakra attack and the throat chakra attack. So in summary, what I was saying, just a basic reminder, is that apartheid involved classifying people by race and denying people of color basic human rights. So that is a direct attack on the root chakra, because the root chakra is linked to your freedom to exist, to live, to live. To live, to move, to eat, and have a safe place to sleep and exist. And again, the forced removals and creating of lands is another root chakra attack. And then again, we move to the throat chakra attack. The settlers deeming us not worthy of having a voice, of practicing a politics, is an attack on the throat chakra, because they took away our ancestors' voices. Our ancestors were not free and they were controlled, meaning their voice and their words were controlled. And now, during the week, I was thinking to myself, this is like, there is also that it was also an attack on the crown chakra, because they took their beliefs, they took a beliefs the ancestors zethu. They took the African spirituality, they took our culture, they took our traditions. They took away how we connect to Umdali, how we connect to our ancestors, how we connect to our higher selves and tapping into a higher consciousness. And they gave us the Bible, something that was foreign to our ancestors. And when someone breaks the connection that you have with Umdali, with God, that is an attack on your crown chakra. That's why most times I do get upset at us South Africans not tapping in spiritually. But I understand that these historical events were not physical. Were not just physical. They were spiritual, they were mental, they were emotional. And most of us are not doing the work. Hence, we are wrapped up in this unhealthy cycle, in this unhealthy loop. So it is very important to do energy work. Then we go to shadow work. We go to the shadow work. I'm not sure if I should actually cut this video or I should go on and yap. But it's fine, because for the fourth session, I just want to get into law of assumption, because I'm like, oh my goodness, let's just manifest, guys, and get everything that we want, because it's in our blueprint and we deserve it. Okay, fine. Then let's get to shadow work now. So shadow work is you tapping into your shadow sign. So now religion has taught us to run away from our shadow, run away from our inner demons. You know, there's nothing wrong with having inner demons. There's nothing satanic or sinister about it. There's nothing sinister about your shadow. Your shadow is you, because in Chinese tradition, there's the yin-yang symbol, but you can find the yang and the yin, and you can find the yin and the yang. You can find the shadow in your higher self, and you can find your higher self in the shadow. There just needs to be a balance, and you do not need to run away from your shadow. Yes, let's get to shadow work. So Shadow work is essentially tapping into your unconscious self. Just like in real life, your shadow is dark, it's nothing. Yet, perhaps, it's everything. We barely notice our shadow when we're walking around, but it's always there, accompanying us everywhere. We tend to only focus on our physical bodies and our conscious selves. However, shadow work involves acknowledging that you do have a shadow side, a dark side. It's about working on and acknowledging this aspect of yourself. By doing so, you can unlock immense power within yourself. So, I'm reading this passage from an ebook of mine, which is called Healing Your Relationship with Abundance. Now, so your shadow self includes trauma, fears, insecurities, limiting beliefs, and unhealthy habits. These aspects are all a part of you, and there's no use in trying to run away from them. Instead, shadow work encourages you to confront and combine these repressed aspects, which will lead to personal growth, self-awareness, and empowerment. When I say there's no use trying to run away from them, I mean, I wanna talk about this. I had to talk about this with someone that the reason why murderers, rapists, pedophiles have a place in church is because religion tells you to repress your shadow side. It teaches you to just pray it away. It doesn't teach you to face your inner demons, to face your shadow. Niqondane ngqo, man to man. Religion doesn't teach you that. That's why people will try to tap into spirituality, but along the way they tap out because they cannot take the amount of work needed when it comes to spirituality. So that is what shadow work is. And so when it comes to healing, we will need to focus on the limiting beliefs, because we have limiting beliefs. These limiting beliefs were conditioned, it's because of a conditioning, and it is because of a programming. I'm losing my mind here because I wanted to talk about something, but I forgot about it, and hopefully I am going to remember it. Nah? So yes, we get to shadow work. So shadow work is doing the inner work. It is facing the limiting beliefs. It's facing the trauma. Why are you scared to spend money? Why do you hoard money? Why do you hoard food? Why do you self-sabotage your relationships? Why do you self-sabotage opportunities? Who told you that you're not worthy enough? Why do you believe you're not worthy enough? Why do you believe that you're not beautiful? Why do you not love your body? Why don't you love yourself? What is going on? That is what shadow work is all about. And I want to say, for each limiting belief, you will have to create an affirmation for that. So, for example, let's say, I don't think I'm beautiful enough. Every day, whether I believe it or not, I will need to tell myself that I am beautiful. If I were to journal about it, a journal prompt that I would come up with is, why do I not think I am beautiful? Why do I not think I am beautiful? Is there anyone who told me I'm not beautiful? And let's say The answer is I don't feel beautiful because growing up, my friends or children in school used to make fun of me, and then you would actually need to go deeper into it. You would need to meditate on it. That's just the basics of shadow work, no? Okay, fine. Then I forgot about connecting with your guides. Bingo, this is what I was thinking, no? Connecting with your ancestors. South Africans really frown upon the belief of ancestors, and it's really crazy, It's really crazy. We need to know that as African, as abantu abansundu, abantwana bomgquba, that we believe in the ancestors. Whether you like it or not, you have your ancestors. But people are scared that the minute you connect with your ancestors, uzotwasa. No, awuzotwasa. Akhondo iksa ikwintwasa. Because kudala emandulo wonke umuntu wayenabo ubudlelwane nezinyanya zakhe. Everyone had a connection with their ancestors, and not everyone was a traditional healer. Not everyone was a herbalist. Not everyone was isangoma. Not everyone was umprofeti or umthandazeli. It was a select few. And that shows you that just because you connect or talk to your ancestors, I just think that the people that are supposed to help us and reawaken our ancestors, babuya bayilahle, in the sense that they want everyone to become a traditional healer. Gandhi, most times you just need to fix umsamo, the connection. Yes, the satellite dish, the connection you have with the ancestors. Most times you just need to cleanse your ancestors. You just need to cleanse yourself. You just need to cleanse your home. You just need to cleanse your family. Most times you're just there to advance lineage yakho, bloodline yakho. So you're there for your family. You're there for your descendants. You're not there for the collective. You're not like narrow lie. Okay, I'm joking, guys. Anyway, you're not there. You're not there for the collective. You're there for your family. You're there for yourself. So the ancestral belief, working with ancestors, ancestral veneration, into yethu bantu bansundu. That is why it is important to connect with your guides. And it's not even that, I do think that the ancestors to a certain extent, some ancestors to a certain extent, can be stubborn, but guys, the ancestral work is just for us to remember who we are. We have forgotten who we are, and that has created a lot of blockages in our lives. And as a number, I should say that ancestral veneration, or believing in your ancestors, or at least acknowledging that you walk with these people and they exist with you in spirit, is a rite of way for African people. It's something that was embedded in us, that our ancestors are our guides. They are here to protect us, to guide us. They are here to intercede on our behalf. And I know people are always like, no, how can someone that didn't have a job or a car or whatever in this on earth, how can they answer my prayer, etc., etc., etc. I remember having a conversation with this person, and at the time I was a full-on Christian. Okay, let me not say Christian, because I don't really take African churches as part of Christianity, but like no, about 10% will come. So At the time, yes, I was still going to church, still reading the Bible and everything, and we were talking about the whole concept of sins, repenting, and everything. I don't know if they asked me or I asked them, Okuba, what if that, because we were talking about being saved, we're like, what if you can't really get saved on earth? What if the real salvation takes place when you ascend or get judgment day, you know? And now I am thinking about that salvation. I'm gonna have to write this down. I'm thinking about that salvation to when our ancestors ascend. Ne? Let's say you have your father who was a deadbeat, no car, no job, no nothing. You know? So we're gonna use the word salvation, you know? So when they ascend, that is when they experience their true salvation. So experiencing this true salvation, they see how things work. They see how things work in the spiritual realm. And trust me, work is being done in the spiritual realm, ne? Do not think just because abantu bapha bayalala bahone, you know, vulumilomo, avuzizingwe, no, it doesn't work like that. They are working. That is why most times, you know, you're gonna dream of, you know, someone or an ancestor saying that they feeling cold, they need this, they need that, because work is being done there. And because of work being done there, what I love about the ancestral realm is that they will shun you if you were doing bad things on earth. I'm sorry. If a woman mulali, they will shun you. They will definitely shun you. If a budlengula, they will shun you. So my question is, you saying that ubani ongasekhoyo emhlabeni cannot help you with imali, ne? But what if, ne? Because a vessel iyashiyeka emhlabeni, what if they change? Like the spirit ascends and goes to the realm, things change. What if they change? What if the work that you are doing on earth, not even what if, the work that you're doing on earth is helping them? And every time, I know that every time I work on myself, every time I heal, my ancestors heal. If I had a problem with self-esteem, I know that Umamubani that had a problem with self-esteem is gonna become better. If I frequent the ocean and I get used to the ocean and I love the ocean, I know that Umamubani who is scared of the ocean is gonna end up not having a problem with the ocean. You know, that's why doing the work, realizing, doing self-introspection, you know, things get better, you know, you love yourself and everything, because the people that you work with, the more you heal, they also heal themselves. And let's say that the journey that you are on is foreign to them. The journey of the energy work, shadow work, therapy, and everything, grounding yourself, tapping in, raising your frequencies. These people walk with you. When you raise your frequency, they raise their frequencies. That is why sometimes they will be able to help you, because when you are seeing them as the vessel that they were here on earth. But before they could enter the ancestral realm and be with the other ancestors, they also had to do work. The ascension also exists in the spiritual realm. It is there. Work should be done. You don't just graduate here physically, you also graduate spiritually, and that graduation depends on the work that you did on earth. It depends on the frequencies that you attain, the frequency that you attained when you were on earth. Hence, inombo yeminyanya, you know, ancestral court exists. Spiritual court exists. Yeah. So yeah, I think I've said a lot, and anything I haven't said, I'll probably say it in the next video. But in conclusion, this is what we can do from now on. This is what I have been doing the work. Yes, I am manifesting, and I get my manifestations. I am doing the work and manifesting at the same time. Because I felt like it would be a limiting belief to say, actually, I should just focus on shadow work and not manifest. No, girl, I do everything. That's because my body can take it. But if your body can't take it, please be patient with yourself. You are not behind. You are not. If you feel like you're behind, you are not behind. Breathe. Breathe and breathe and breathe. Tell yourself you are not behind. You are not behind. This may be a message for someone because I'm feeling it deep inside that you're not behind. Stop feeling like you are behind. Do not rush yourself. Do not rush the healing. Do the work. Take your time. You are not behind. If I started my healing era in 2020 and you're starting your healing era in 2026, it doesn't mean that I am ahead of you. It doesn't mean that you are behind of me. You are in your reality, and right now you're tapping into the healing reality, you know. So yes, please do the work. Now what I will say is that if you don't know where to start, you can definitely reach out to me, because I do have the tools to help you do the work. I have 2 ebooks. I have an ebook called Healing Your Relationship with Abundance. So there we discuss what shadow work is, we discuss the blockages that exist, and then there are daily practices, exercises, and everything that's meant to help you in your journey. And it also comes with a free meditation session, which is Reiki infused. And then I also have a second ebook, which is Channeling Your Truth. How to speak from your soul instead of your trauma. And I feel like it will also help with the 3rd chakra healing that is needed because of the effects of apartheid and colonialism, that as African people, we need to find our voices. As African women, we need to find our voices. As women, we need to find our voices. That is how the matriarch is going to come back. When we find our voices, it's on the way. It's on the way. The matriarch is on the way, but we need to find our voices. If you need help with energy work, I have the tools. If you need help with ancestral healing, I have the tools. If you need help with shadow work, I have the tools. If you need help connecting with your guides, I have the tools. I'm going to drop the different links in the description box. You can definitely reach out to me on Twitter, Neurali Healing. You can reach out to me on TikTok at Cosmic Jade. Yes. And then my email is on Twitter on my pinned tweet, but it is neuralihealing@gmail.com, which is all small letters. So that is it from me today. I hope you guys enjoy this session. I hope you get something from it. I hope and I pray and I charge it. I charge this session that you take something home. You take a lesson to bed. You ponder on something, you reflect on something, and I hope this video changes your life in a very good way, in a very potent way, in a very powerful way, in a very powerful way. No. So I usually post my videos every Saturday or Sunday. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening, and thank you for coming with me on this journey. I genuinely appreciate it, and you are not behind. You get everything that you want. You deserve the finer things of life. You deserve everything good. You deserve the money. You deserve the abundance, the prosperities, the blessings, the luck, the love, the peace, the joy, the happiness, the serenity. All those things are coming to you, and all those things, you deserve them. It is in your blueprint. No one was created to suffer on earth. We are just in this system. I'm gonna call it that. Let's call it a code. And the system, we just exist in the system that wants us to believe that wealth is for certain people, good things are for certain people. No. You can get everything that you want. In fact, you are getting everything that you want. Thank you so much. I'm sending divine blessings your way. Kwakhanya, kuyakhanya, kukhanyile. Namaste.